All right. We're live.
Hello, and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best political talk show in central Massachusetts. What's the name of the show again?
Rebel Republic.
Come on, man. Come on.
I am Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe who does not know the name of the show. And with me, as always, the voice of reason himself, Frank Cristiano.
Thank you, Stephen.
And Coach Schuman. Coach?
What's going on?
I have to apologize. We do not have John McEntee on the show. Due to unforeseen circumstances, he was unable to make the show.
You no-showed.
And
right?
I
you
take
no-showed.
full responsibility.
Yes.
Yes, it is my fault. And
how is it your fault? I don't know how
it's my fault. I'm the producer. I schedule people. So, you know, I had him scheduled the week, and then I didn't hear from him today. So I blame myself. I'm very hard on myself.
So listen, interview me like I'm John.
Well, I didn't have any planned interview.
No planned interview. So. Just shoot something at me. Say, hey, how you doing? Or go, what's my thought of the day?
So there's been a lot of controversy going around because of the Venezuelan gangs taking over.
Yeah.
And people are afraid to come out of their houses in fear for their lives, that we're letting all these Venezuelans in, and they're ganging up and they're rioting and they're looting and they're robbing people. And you know, they're just taking and taking. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know about that, but let me tell you, liberals think that it's okay. They want to honor American citizens, but yeah, they still want. Give me some food right now. I got to eat something. Give me something.
The people feel that it's a slap in the face. Isn't. And as you said, the media controls the narrative. Dave, what is your opinion of this? People are upset with the Venezuelan gangs, and that the media is not giving it quite the attention that it may deserve.
Liberals say that it's my body, my choice. But when it comes to the vaccine, they say it has to be mandatory. So where's the my body, my choice?
Right. Now keep eating.
I gotta eat something.
So on all the applications, when I put on non-binary, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
What was your question about Venezuela?
The Venezuelan gangs.
Let me answer that. So with the Venezuelan gangs, I think JD Vance put it to rest how it's actually being set up in this country right now for years through the media. So Martha Raddatz throws the question at him about this and then says, well, the mayor of Aurora, Colorado, he says that there were only a few apartment complexes that were taken over.
Only a few that were ravaged.
And there were only a few that were, controlled by these Venezuelan gangs and that were uprooted, and that the authorities were sent there and took care of the problem properly. And Vance has the perfect comeback. He says, only a few. Every American citizen counts. Every person counts. How can you just say a few? And then how do you say that Trump is wrong or bad when you're actually giving credit to Kamala Harris? Thank you. I'm going to correct myself. Kamala Harris on these ridiculous non-immigration policies that she's just let go to run rampant through this country. Yeah, and that's how this problem starts in the beginning.
She has,
and then she goes back at it again because she has to go back and fact check again. Well, the police chief in Aurora, Colorado, it doesn't matter who's saying it in Aurora, Colorado. There were entire apartment complexes that were controlled by Venezuelan gangs that were illegally here in this country.
They would take them
so
over,
maybe it's 1,000 people that were affected. Maybe it's 500. Maybe it's 10,000. Whatever it is.
But every American counts.
No, they don't.
Oh,
not if they're stopping. Not if they're stopping the master game plan of the Liberal Party.
Okay, so not Not really.
So you guys are cutting out a little bit here and there.
Every American.
So one of the things I think is interesting is today's Columbus Day, right?
Yes,
and
indigenous people.
And Day too. They slapped that on the last couple of years.
Wait, what is it today too?
It is Indigenous Peoples. That too. I took my kid on a college visit today, and when they were sending me the emails last night, they were reminding me that today they didn't say Columbus Day. They just said it's Indigenous Peoples Day because a couple years ago they slapped this moniker right on the same day as Columbus because Columbus was a conqueror and murderer, according to many new historical scientists that just come up out of the woodwork. So they have to cover up the murderer and conqueror with a celebration of the indigenous peoples of this world.
But wasn't all conquerors murderers? And
that is correct. That is correct. Every 75 years, mass conquering and murdering happens. About every 75 years, you can count on it in this country.
I asked this too about the indigenous people. So I heard this on Mark Levin. I thought it was a great point from Mark Levin. He said that, well, the indigenous peoples that were here, okay, the American Indian tribes for the most part,
Native Americans, yeah,
Native Americans, yes, they fought amongst each other, killing each other. Those were when you used to say like the Navajo Nation, the Seminole Nation,
sure,
those were countries with their tribes were their own countries, and they fought within each other. Okay,
the Crow were vicious Native Americans that slaughtered
exactly
who knows how many other tribes.
To take over territory in order to conquer, there is going to be war. There is going to be massacre,
to survive,
and there is going to be bloodshed.
Absolutely,
that's just reality. That's just the reality of
especially
the situation.
Back then.
Yeah, back then there were no rules. There was no United Nations. There was no everyone be friends.
Who was the DEI officer back then? Did they have an equity and inclusion officer in the tribes?
Yeah, I'm sure they had the DEI person in the Navajo. I'm sure they had DEI.
The witch doctor.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Every Indian tribe had some kind of a doctor or some kind of shaman.
Yeah, that was the DEI. The DEI.
I didn't know that.
So I wanted to ask because I was looking at the maps and the red and the blue, and which again, the red or the blue?
Who knows anymore?
Well, I'm asking. The red or the state? The Republican. Are we red or blue?
This state?
No, overall.
In the country?
Yes.
More blue than red.
No, but I'm asking: is Republican red or blue?
Republican's red. Are you
okay?
Are you an actual host or commentator?
I'm asking. I'm trying to learn.
How do you not know?
I'm trying to learn.
What do you need?
I'm trying to learn.
Red is Republican. GOP, blue is liberal.
Red is Republican.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, no, because I was looking at it, and like I mentioned, the history of New York State, we haven't been a red state in 20 plus years.
Correct.
And does it have a chance to return to red?
Yes.
This year?
Yes.
You do believe that?
Yes.
So my vote will count?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Your vote counts no matter what.
Well, no, not really.
It does.
Well, if it's going to be blue, it doesn't
If
count.
it was a popular vote, it would count automatically, but we don't vote on popularity.
Exactly. That's why I don't think it counts.
But bottom line, your will needs to be implemented.
It does.
And your wishes need to be implemented by your single vote.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. And Dave, is you're traditionally blue as well, right? You're not red.
New Jersey blue, yeah, for the most part.
But you still get out and vote.
Me? You're damn right.
And eventually, do you think Jersey it'll make a difference where it will sway to becoming red?
I don't know. There's some talk that Jersey could go to Trump. I don't personally see that happening, but I'm looking. I'm looking at. I thought this was interesting. I'm looking at a map of the indigenous.
That's what I was looking. Oh, okay.
Oh, you were? I'm gonna pull it up.
Out of the indigenous people.
No. Yes, I'm looking up an indigenous people's map because I find it so interesting how it's easy to just take away a holiday from the Italian Americans so easily.
We're going there. You're right.
Well, that's all
Yes.
done.
Right.
That's all done.
You're
all
damn
done
right.
on purpose.
I'm not Italian, so I'm just telling you this as a
You're
person.
right.
Although my
I
son
am.
is, because my wife
But Dave,
is. But
I am. But you know what? I don't
You
even
are,
care
yes.
about
We used
that.
to have
I
pride.
don't even
Yeah.
care about that.
yeah, but there are people that do.
Yes.
There are I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna let everybody have a holiday, okay, that's fine. But let's look at all the peoples that inhabited America.
Yeah.
These are all the indigenous people, the different tribes of America, the Americas, I guess, if you include Mexico.
We right now where we live, where Steve and I are, was one of the hotbeds for Native American tribes, and they're respectful and they're honored tribes with probably thousands of years of history. You're talking the Mohawk.
Wow. Yeah.
The Mohawks, last of the Mohawk.
The Iroquois. Yes, I'm telling you right
Mohicans.
now. There are so many tribes into this area, and that
Is
are
that why we had
respected
the
and are honored.
casino?
That's because honestly, we're talking about an indigenous group of people that have outsmarted us.
Oh,
they built
did.
casinos.
Okay.
Okay, so they got us. But
Okay.
bottom line, the history that we live right here in central New York is incredible.
It is.
And,
Yeah.
and,
It
and
is.
so much of it is tied in with Native Americans.
Long
It's respected
Island.
and it's honored, right? And it's
Long
honored.
Island.
Sure.
Look, if you look at just all the 28 different indigenous tribes, okay? So
Oh my God! Wow.
I mean, this is just not tribes, but cultures of the
Yes.
indigenous people, right? So
Right.
like, I mean, you're talking. So when you're saying, like, when you come up with stuff like, people make it sound like Native Americans were a country, okay? Their own country. It was the Native Americans of the United States of America.
Not true. No.
Right. What now? There were people that did horrible things to the Native. Andrew
Yes.
Jackson, the Trail of Tears, horrible thing
Yes.
that was done to Native Americans. And there's lots of other things that were done along the way.
Of
But
course.
it was a time of it was a time of a lot of that stuff. I mean, this land
Yeah.
was unclaimed for the most part. There were
Well, it was
people
the
that lived
Industrial
on these
Revolution.
lands,
Yeah.
but there wasn't like there was a set government. It's the modern government as you see today did not exist in
No.
America at the time. So
No.
you could argue that the Europeans came in and set up the structure and all this kind of stuff and stole their quote unquote land, but the land was unconquered. So let's eventually other people were going to come to this. I mean, boats were being made, okay? You weren't stopping technology. So if the Europeans didn't come at some point, then the Africans would have came at another point, or the people from South America would have came up.
Migrated up. Yeah.
As history continued, it happened to be that Europeans were the most evolved as far as technologically with respect to travel, right?
100%.
Why in history do we ignore these things? Why do we ignore the technological? When Elon Musk builds his tribes of iRobots, okay, and slowly but surely wipes out the humans who decide not to get the implants, okay, as he wipes them out because they're just eaters. They're useless eaters at that point. Who do we blame at that point? Like it's just who has the technological advances to be able to gain some level of power and control. There are people that use their power for good. A lot of times people use their power for their own gain. I won't even say to kill people per se, but literally for their own gain.
But what's the thing they were teaching in school that they said was bad? They were saying like they were going to teach kids that there was no slavery and no Nazis and all that. It was called racial something.
I don't know what
that one. You lost me on that one.
You didn't hear about that?
No. No.
Oh, they were going to try to teach all that there wasn't slavery and anything like that, racial something.
Huh. No, I don't. I remember there was always going to be slavery taught.
Racial
Because you know why? You know why?
Like
you know why?
I can't
You know why? Because slavery happened.
It
Yeah,
happened.
They were
happened.
Absolutely
try to
happened.
erase teaching
You know
it.
the colonization of the Americas happened.
It happened.
To erase
The
teaching it.
Spanish colonizing Central and South America happened. You know the extinction of certain tribes or societies happened. It's an evolution. Something you know what all school has taught me about right now. The last couple of years, school has taught me that there is another conqueror coming who is going to wipe out a big segment of this country, and that conqueror is Donald Trump. That's what they're telling you right now. You need to be in fear of Donald Trump because he is going to wipe a segment of this country out.
That's insane.
And he's going to take over. He's going to be able to assassinate opponents. He's going to be able to eradicate groups of people that don't either believe in what he said. If people believe this shit, then they need to be locked up. You are mentally spent if you believe it.
Yeah.
Right? If you believe it.
It's critical race theory. That's what.
I know critical race theory.
Irritated about that. That's
Well, yeah, critical race theory basically is that
you're teaching there's no slavery, that none of that happened, right?
No. Critical race theory is basically like that white people created a situation where they were put black people in a inferior position.
Oh, that we're innately racist.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I got confused.
So yes. So
I thought
but you know what I was going to say about the indigenous people thing? That's the biggest thing. That today in the world we have placed things like the UN, whether I agree with it or not, things like the United States of America that can recognize when there is an Adolf Hitler in the world that can put a stop to it. Okay. We can recognize when there is evil and good, and we could debate that and we could take course in those situations. But there's always going to be people that are going to say, and you don't have to look any further than the Middle East. There are people that think that the Israelis are conquerors. Okay.
Right. Yes.
And if you're and obviously the people that are Israeli are people that say, hey, we're indigenous to this land. Okay.
Yeah,
which they are. Right. So I'm just saying people have different takes on situations.
It's very subjective. Yes.
The problem is when we twist history to create the truth that we want to create
to fit the narrative of whatever.
Right.
That's 100%. The problem.
Yeah.
How are there Holocaust deniers?
Well, right.
There are. Don't get
there
me
are.
wrong,
There are. Absolutely.
But please explain to me.
Well, the 9/11 hoaxers and the flat earthers. That's Aaron Rodgers. He was one of them too.
I understand this, but that's more sensationalism.
Okay.
I'm talking about
people saying that the Holocaust.
Holocaust. So did thousands and thousands and thousands of Holocaust survivors just all of a sudden tattoo 7 numbers or 6 numbers on their wrist for the hell of it?
Or they just got sent to Mars,
right? Even if you don't believe what you see or what is spoken or what is written in the records or what has been been totally affirmed by millions of people that were involved in that.
Yeah,
you're telling me there are people that still believe that it didn't happen.
Yeah, the Nuremberg trials.
That's the hoax. Come on,
no, it's ridiculous.
And those view that I support in life is incorrect.
That's why I think people should have to take a test to vote, because people are so ignorant.
I understand that, but what are the questions going to be on the test?
Well, I'm not making them.
Yeah, but I understand that. But what questions could you put on a test?
Well, I think you just need to be an American citizen, an American citizen that is not served a federal jail sentence. Other than if people have served a federal jail sentence. You know, like I don't think you want mass murderers voting, but outside of that,
Dave, they wanted to give the Boston marathon murderer a vote in jail when he was in
I heard
prison.
that. I heard that.
They did.
It's insanity.
Yes,
that's insane.
That's what they believe.
You know what? You do something like that in our country, even if you are a citizen, you revoke all rights.
Yeah.
You've infringed on the law of the land.
Yep. And
you
revoke
all rights.
Trial. Yeah.
And can we just say, okay, what happened to the Native Americans? Okay, whether they were killed by settlers, or whether it was disease because Europeans and the Native Americans weren't used to some of the diseases that the Europeans had. Can we admit that that's okay? That's a terrible thing. What Andrew Jackson did was a terrible thing. The Trail of Tears, okay, where he pushed them all into these reservations, right?
He did. Yeah.
Those were terrible things. Slavery was a terrible thing. Okay, now can we move forward from that? Can we also admit that America wouldn't be America if Christopher Columbus didn't land here?
Right. Right.
Even if it was islands where he landed, it doesn't matter. It all expounded from there. But Dave, what you brought up is valid. But see, there are many people in this country that feel it has not moved fast enough. We have to, in these last 3.5 years, we have packed in so much anti-everything and suffering and brain mental persecution, physical persecution. We've packed it all into a big ball. And we've tried to hit it out of the park in 3.5 years. We've tried to squeeze everyone's problems, every gripe that everybody has,
get it all done.
Every bellyache, every ass ache, everything that's out there, and they're wipe it out in 3.5 years and turn this country into the direction they want it to go to. I'm all for it. I'm all for the direction. We're going to change naturally as a society, but slow the F down. Slow it down.
Where's the fire?
We haven't. Well, the fire is in their brains.
Oh,
that's the problem. The fire is in some people's minds. They're delusional. They're delusional because half of the stuff they say is happening is not happening. Okay, it is being expounded by a small group,
of
the
course.
media and a DNC think tank. Okay, who are trying to speed up socialism to this country.
Think tank.
We talked about it. Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
they're trying to speed up socialism to this country. They don't want it yesterday. They want it the day before. They want it done. They don't want to wait 20 years. They don't want to wait 30 years. They don't want 4. We talked about this last week and all that. All they are worried about right now is one thing. Well, two things. They always worry about money because that controls everything. But number two, they're worrying about Donald Trump winning this election and setting back their cause 40 years.
Well,
that's it.
I wanted to mention this because you had brought it up. Sources close to the White House report an ongoing rift between President Biden and his staff and Kamala Harris and her staff, with issues tracing back to the initial weeks following Harris's nomination.
Because he just woke the fuck up. He just woke up.
You called it.
Yes.
You said
he just woke up. He woke up from a 1.5-month dream that he had that he was going to be expelled as the presidential candidate. And all of a sudden he woke up and he's like,
now there's
hey guys, what happened? Holy crap.
I'm not running.
I'm not running. What the hell happened?
How did that happen?
Right. He just woke up. And you know, you make a valid point all the time. Well, all these people should be brought up on charges or whatever. They all knew that he was incompetent.
I think they should, yeah.
But there's no way to do that, okay? But all that's happening right now is the nature of law is taking place.
If Trump's impeached twice,
the nature of law is taking place. Because nothing adds up to how they proceeded, and nothing adds up as to how they're presenting this candidate. That's it.
Not at all.
It's crumbling.
But Dave, the squabbles have ranged from whether Biden's main surrogates should continue going on TV or be replaced with new Harris surrogates to debates over whether Biden is undermining Harris's messaging. Other issues have included complaints from the Harris camp that the White House has not moved quickly enough to add staff to the vice president's office to help deal with the bigger workload. What are your thoughts on that?
She's the one that wanted to be president.
Yeah, but she's saying that Biden's not supporting her and not giving her enough staff to handle.
They squeezed Biden. I think Frank is 100% right. When they squeezed Biden out, they basically Biden and his wife basically just threw their hands up, and whoever pushed him out, whoever it is, they threw their hands up, said screw this, and then you know what? He went. They cloned him for the 5th time, and this 5th clone that he now has of him has woken up, and this one has a glitch that he recollects what actually happened to him.
I know it.
So now the glitch is he's like, whoa, 5th clone, 5th Biden. Hold on, wait a minute. They threw me out. They're throwing me out.
What was that Schwarzenegger movie? What was that Schwarzenegger movie where he went to Mars? Remember?
Yes.
And they had him implanted. They had him and he knocked himself out by some ungodly reason. All of a sudden he wakes up and he's like, "What happened to me? I'm not this
Total
guy.
recall.
Total recall. Total recall. Right?
Yes,
that's what it is. Biden has had total recall now. He's woken up from his sleep.
He's normal now.
I don't know if he's normal right now, but he's woken up from his sleep and he has realized, oh my God, in 22 days. I'll be president for a month or so after that, but in 22 days, I'm done. How did this happen? Who did this? And his advisors are like, Mr. President, you don't remember when you signed off, when you met with Barack Obama, that you would put Kamala Harris as the front runner and the candidate of choice here for the Democrats, since you realized yourself that you were not competent.
You were not competent.
Who said you're not competent?
Well,
who put this up?
They said to Biden, they said, what's his name came to them, and he said, Neo, you could choose the red pill or the blue pill.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne, yes.
Yeah.
He says, Joe Biden, yes, you could choose the red pill or the blue pill. Yeah. And at first he chose the the blue pill that basically your life just goes on.
Right. Yes, that's the blue pill. The red pill.
Yes, but now he somehow decided to change his mind. He says, "I'd like to see how far the rabbit hole goes." And he's like, "Whoa!"
You weren't allowed to change your mind in the movie.
He changed his mind.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they'd have to write a sequel to it then if he changed his mind.
Absolutely. And then they gave him like another pill. They gave him like 6 X-Lax. He's been shitting his brains out for the last month and a half since they told him that he's out of office.
So you think that he really just came to his senses and realized, oh my God, I'm not running, and I want to be president.
I think they convinced him, without a doubt, being cornered by Obama,
he was cornered.
Obama.
They cornered him.
They met with him
and he is frailer. He is frailer,
man.
Right. Hillary Clinton met with him. Nancy Pelosi met with him. Barack Obama met with him. Yeah. After a while, when you bring out the 2, 3, and 4 hitter in the lineup.
Well, okay, but ultimately the decision.
Or maybe Jill, a couple of nights ago was a little frisky, okay, or a week or two ago,
and she said, life.
She says, remember when you knocked out Joe Pop? She's like, I'd like to see that energy again, and she started giving him a little bit, and then he snapped back into it. He said, "What am I doing?"
The super Viagra works. That's fantastic.
Cool Joe comes back to life.
Absolutely. Hammerin' Joe came
Hammerin' Joe.
Well, my question
OnlyFans Joe.
OnlyFans Joe.
Oh my God.
He is the line is Joe be hard. Joe be hard.
If he really did want to stay in the race, he could have though.
Yes, he could have, but there would have been such immense pressure. Well, there would have been an immense pressure over and over and over by that. I'm sure they went up to him and they said, "Listen, if you stay in the race, we're pulling our support for you." Without a doubt.
What does that mean?
That means that all of a sudden your chance,
like Obama's not going to vote.
Obama's not going to support him. Nancy Pelosi won't support him. Hillary Clinton will start inventing shit about him. They would pull the rug out from underneath Joe Biden. Hey, what if all these people
wouldn't vote for him?
No. What if Barack Obama came on TV and said,
"I'm voting for Trump"?
Unfortunately, I can't.
Trump. They absolutely hate him.
Listen, they love power more than they hate Trump.
Right.
You have to swallow that pill.
But if they did that, then Trump would win the election.
But you know what? That's the risk. This is a casino. Politics is a casino. They're going to the casino and they are trying to win it all.
But the House always wins.
They don't want to. What's that?
The House always wins.
Yeah, but they're not the House.
Oh, okay.
The House. See, you know what the House is?
I thought the House.
The House is the American people.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought we always lose.
We always lose. That's the problem.
Okay.
See. So the gambling, the problem we have in this game that we're going on, this casino game of politics, is that we always let the gambler who goes all in, most likely all the time, win.
Right.
They win instead of the House.
Right.
So
Yeah.
back and forth, the Democrats or Republicans have been winning, and the common folk Americans have been getting screwed for
years,
for 50, 60 years, even more.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is the point where whether you're blue or whether you're red, we need to come together cognitively. You have to be mentally strong in this election and sift through all the shit. Sift through all the shit and then find out what's the real truth. You have to direct yourself into believing what the real truth is, not what's being spewed upon.
Well, now, Dave, one example of Biden not adequately coordinating his message and his schedule, cited by the Harris campaign aides, was on Friday. Biden had an impromptu press conference from the White House to update the American public on the government's hurricane relief efforts. Meanwhile, Harris was campaigning in Michigan and had no idea that this even went on, that there was a press conference scheduled, that Biden was going to talk about the hurricane relief efforts, and she felt completely blindsided. What do you think about that?
Who cares what she thinks? She's not the president. He's the
thinks he is.
president.
So he still can do what he wants, basically.
If he wants to go and eat Fruity Pebbles on the stand when he does his press conference, this is what I would do if I was Joe Biden and I was how was he 80?
81.
If I was 81 years old and they threw my ass out like they threw his ass out, I would be up there eating whatever I eat for breakfast. And if he's eating fruit, whatever he eats for breakfast, whether it's donuts, and I would be sitting up there and I would just be sitting up there eating. What's your question? Yeah, America's going great. I'll be gone in 2 months. Good luck to you.
You pull an Ed Ogeron, basically. When Ed Ogeron
You're damn right. You did
from LSU. He said, "All right, I'll go get my."
I would be if I was a Democrat or a Republican, and they threw me out, whoever it was, I would be sitting. I was the president. Yeah. I would do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I agree.
Remember, he would just be eating a big bucket of prunes. And it would be him and Jerry Nadler. Remember Jerry Nadler?
Don't prunes have a pit in it?
Jerry Nadler. No, some got a pit. So Jerry Nadler, a little over a year ago, was up on stage at a podium for some ceremony and award and shit his pants right on the podium. Right?
That's what's going to happen. Jerry Adler, the guy from
Jerry Nadler.
Oh, Nadler.
Yeah, he's a
Adler's the guy from The Sopranos.
He's a House representative. He's been there for forever. He's in his 80s too. He's senile. And he's up there telling the American people the direction the company should go, the country should go in. But unfortunately, at the same time he's telling you that direction, we're hearing the other direction that all his colon is blowing out of his asshole. That's what we're listening to.
You know what else I would do? I would come up to the podium and be like, "Press corps, I got a special surprise for you today. Here's Dua Lipa in concert. Boom! There she is." And then you'd have a concert for everybody. And then the next press conference comes up. I'd be like, "Today we have The Rock in a WWE wrestling match going on behind, right in this door over here. Come on through."
I think The Rock's a Republican.
Strippers.
Who cares?
Strippers and cocaine for everybody. Come on in, guys. But just let my son get in first.
Well, I'll ask you, the other part of the infighting was about Harris. She criticized DeSantis for not taking her calls about the relief effort and playing political.
You don't need her.
That was nonsense.
She's not the weather czar.
Do you think that...
No.
She's not the storm czar. She's the border czar.
You think that DeSantis did not take her calls?
Probably.
Oh, you do? You do?
Sure.
DeSantis was worried.
Busy.
He has the best emergency... in the whole entire country, he handles it better than anybody.
Right.
What is Kamala Harris gonna do that he isn't already doing?
80% of Florida is surrounded by water.
Yeah.
They've been dealing with these things for hundreds of years.
He's prepared for it.
He knows what he's doing. They know what they're doing. Most of these, but they don't need now.
Unless maybe she was bringing Megan the Stallion down for a concert or something.
That's probably would have been that would have shook the hurricane right up. You know what? So North Carolina, I understand they need more help. There's never been mass floods in the mountains of North Carolina. They don't know what they don't know how to
handle it.
They don't know what to do with that. And those are the ones that needed the phone call, and they got dookie.
No,
that's what they needed. They needed that phone call from somebody, and they got nothing. And I don't care what anybody
why
says.
would she call DeSantis then?
Because she's trying to make it look like she's doing something.
Okay.
She's trying to make it look like she's doing something. She's doing nothing.
Well, she could have done something in North Carolina.
She could do something by going back to the White House if there's a national emergency and trying to figure it all out first before starting to shoot off at the mouth.
Dave, let me ask you this. If Biden had bowed out from the start, would Harris have gotten the nomination?
Absolutely not.
Not even close.
Not even close. She didn't last time. She got nothing. She would have got nothing again. They had to maneuver her in there. And by the way, they're going to regret it because they are going to lose.
Well, yeah, I know.
They're going to lose. They thought that they slicking it up and get her in there. The American people, they want
a female. I would take a female in office. I don't care.
Oh, I don't care if it's female or male. That doesn't matter to me. But I'm saying she's not their.
I don't want a female.
No, I told you.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard is my candidate.
Love Tulsi Gabbard.
I would vote for her in a second.
I don't believe
former Democrat.
I don't believe in.
You don't believe in female presidents.
No, I don't.
Why? What do they do wrong as opposed to male presidents?
Well, they're too emotional.
They're emotional.
And
Tulsi Gabbard was a soldier.
I don't think she's gonna be emotional.
She could do more pull-ups than you can.
Right.
Well,
she looks good.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You know who else I like, by the way? Who's the governor for? I can't remember if it's North or South. I think it's South Dakota.
Sarah Palin.
No. It's okay. I know you're talking about.
Kristi Noem.
Kristi Noem. Thank you. I said Whitman. I said that's Michigan.
She's fantastic.
Yep, she's good. She's done great for her state. She's positive. She hits all the right marks as far as looking for a
great family. Her husband's a great guy. She's a great person.
Exactly. Those we had no problem with those. And yeah, we named out 2 Republicans, but listen, Tulsi Gabbard was a former Democrat.
No, my dad liked Tulsi Gabbard.
And Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard's the one that buried Kamala in the first. That basically exposed her.
They've chosen a candidate now to replace Biden who got 0% confidence vote in the primaries. 0%.
No confidence.
You know what half a zero is, Steve? Half a zero is zero. It's zero. You can't go any lower than 0. And that's what she got. And that's who they decided at the last second. Because you know why they were scrambling? When Biden went up there.
Well, they panicked.
When Biden went up there and had oatmeal shooting out of his mouth when he was debating Trump, they panicked.
Well, he didn't have. He didn't understand.
Hemorrhoids.
He didn't understand
their hemorrhoids were on DEFCON 5. Their assholes were shooting out flames because they could not believe what they saw up on stage. They championed every Democratic senator and congressperson made statements and said, Biden has my full support. He is sharp as a tack.
Yes.
The guy is awake and ready to go, and he's going to crush Trump in the debates. You will see. And then he went up there, and it was like foam at the mouth. Like he was a rabid animal. He didn't know. And then he... Well, then that doesn't help his case.
The doctor just.
But after that, panic mode is set in. So you got to realize now they only had a couple days to make a decision. So now they're can you imagine that?
It was a couple days?
Oh, it took a couple days to make that decision. It didn't happen the next day.
I mean, I thought they'd have a week.
No, it took 2 weeks. It took about 2 weeks before they put Kamala there.
Because he didn't want to go. He fought it. Well, he did fight it.
Of course he doesn't want to go. I would pay, I don't know how much I would pay, but to be in that war room, I would have loved to have been in that Democratic war room when they're talking about who are we going to get to replace Joe Biden. And somebody puts up Kamala Harris initially like, are you out of your mind? And then after they had no other choices because of the Arab-Israeli conflict, this conflict eliminated Shapiro from anything. Why? Presidential nominee, vice presidential nominee.
Why?
Because he's Israeli, and obviously he supports one side of that struggle. And there are so many Arab Americans now, but it doesn't even matter because there's so many Arab Americans now.
I'm an Arab American.
You're an Arab American.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So how do you feel about the Arab-Israeli conflict?
Well, we're bad. Hamas is bad.
Right, but not all.
We're terrorists.
You're not all terrorists. Not all Arabs are bad.
No,
there is
but,
a bad segment.
Hamas is terrorist.
There's a terrorist
Hamas is terrorist.
There seems to be
PLO.
There seems to be always a few terrorist organization groups in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but you have to realize something. People are not so much worried about the terrorist groups. They've sort of separated them from the civilians that are having their difficulties in life and death in that region of the world.
Correct.
And they feel that the Israelis are the persecutors, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. They blame the Netanyahu guy.
And so now, what's the struggle? The struggle is Arab Americans are pissed. And they're pissed because their side is being ignored.
I'm pissed.
Right. You're pissed.
Okay.
You're pissed. Your side is being ignored.
Okay.
There are countless thousands
The Lebanese are being
of
ignored.
Arabs dying in that
Yes.
conflict, and the persecutors and the invaders, the conquerors, the Israelis are being backed by the U.S. government.
So I
they
shouldn't like
expect-
the Israelis.
They were correct.
Okay.
They expect. No, there are many Arab Americans that side or either neutral or side with the Arab-Israeli side.
Oh,
They understand
okay.
the conflict, but there are tens of thousands of millions
Well, it
more.
depends if you're Islam or Catholic.
That even the religion has nothing to do with it.
Oh, it doesn't?
So some of it is a driving force, but not all of it. But you have to realize right now, the Democratic Party and this administration is in a quandary. What do? They either support Israel, who's always been an ally to the United States and was actually a buffer against terrorism for the United
for
States.
years.
Bottom line, the intel that comes out of there and the behind the scenes.
Didn't they give all the bombs to Afghanistan during the Cold War?
Who?
The Israelis.
No.
No.
Israel
Don't
is the
talk politics
only
anymore.
buffer. Is the only buffer against terrorism
Correct.
in the Middle East. Period. End of story. Okay.
Okay.
So but one of the Frank brings up a great point. Like if they went with Shapiro, which probably would have assured them probably winning, okay, over the issue they would have had is that they would have had conflict within the far left part of the party where they are anti-Israel. And that's where the conflict would come in within the party. Okay. And that's why they did not do it, even though that would have been the logical vice. They went with they went with a buffoon. Okay, Walz, who is a buffoon. They'd rather go with a buffoon because none of the limelight can be put on him. They're going to put all the limelight on Kamala. This guy is just a buffoon to stand there. Okay, period.
Yeah,
and no different than
idiot.
Different than Kamala's husband. Okay, stand there and be a useful idiot. Okay, so that's what you have there. Now,
what's her husband like? Kamala's husband. I never heard of him.
Well, what is he like? He's a beta.
Yeah.
You know what a beta is?
Okay. Yeah. I know what a beta is. Yeah.
He's a beta.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, he's hey, whatever Kamala says goes.
Yeah. He's just a nice guy, and
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's harmless.
She just toys with him and does what she wants.
So
well,
for a second. So now there's online allegations from a Twitter content producer. In other words, he puts out a lot of facts. It seems like everything he puts out actually is realistic. It's not just some conspiracy theory or falsehoods. So
I think we put out facts.
This Twitter guy put out that evidence has come out and been reported. Right, you can't listen. Evidence has come out and been reported that Tim Walz, while at a school and as a coach, assistant football coach, was let go from the school, and to cover up a fact that he was involved sexually with a male minor in that school.
Come on, is that true?
That's not good.
Now here's the thing.
That's bad. You
have
to say allegedly.
Allegedly, it is alleged. I have no pictures.
I didn't even know that happened. I didn't even know. I just
right. It is out right now, and you know how it's being curtailed and curbed. Right now, I kept the post and saved it off of an online source, and it's gone.
Oh, they got rid of it.
Got rid of it already.
They're smart.
So, bottom line, this Twitter poster put out 5 different pages of I guess
content or
I guess
the grand
some
jury
sort of
testimony?
no, it hasn't gone that far.
Oh.
Some sort of straight information that can be tied back to Walz.
How long?
The exact time, I don't know exact when, but I know that he had been let go or fired from a previous school, and so now everything is coming out, I guess, into the open. So slowly but surely, you may see stuff like that too. Now, is that made up before an election? I don't think so, because realistically, there's no relevance to it. Who cares? You know, but it's not going to affect. Now, it will affect the Democrats in a bad way if it comes out and all that. But to slander it like that, if it's not true or stuff, it's not. But bottom line, for these things to come out now, there obviously has to be some relevance to it. What that relevance is, I can't attest.
There was another thing that came. Another thing that came out today, that Kamala's husband is accused of hitting a woman.
That is true.
That she lost her baby, and he hit her in the face, and it hit her so hard she turned her around and supposedly lost her baby. So that's true.
That is true. The abuse part is true. I don't know about losing a child. I don't know about miscarriage or anything like that, but I know that the abuse part of it is true. That's why she's being called out, even in media right now. You're not going to hear it from the left media, but even in media right now, she's being called out for being anti. Has done that in a relationship outside of his marriage. So
that's scary,
right? I would again. Here's the problem in life. No one's going to believe anything, even with video evidence. They could have Doug bitch slapping some girl.
Rice thing, I believe.
They could have Doug bitch slapping some girl on video, and somehow it will be proven that he did not do it.
Well, how did Dana White get out of his thing?
I have no idea.
Nothing happened to Dana White.
What did Dana White do?
He slapped his wife.
She probably deserved it. But what did Dana White do?
He slapped his wife. It was filmed.
I didn't see it.
Yes,
I didn't
you
see
did.
it. He was probably was that in bed?
You never saw it?
Was it in bed?
No, it was at a club.
All right. It was at a club?
In front of people. He was not reprimanded at all.
He was warming her up. Now, what I'm trying to say is that,
you remember Dave Chappelle when he said,
Chappelle,
what did the five figures say in the face?
Yeah.
That's right. No,
Dave, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't know Dana White's angle. All I'm saying is right now, if you're championing against, and again, these are points that are out there that it makes the party look hypocritical. It makes her look
very hypocritical.
Right. So is that true? I heard that is valid 100%.
Well, if
he has a child
from his
job, he has a child out of wedlock. He has a child with a woman.
Walz does?
Yeah, no, Doug Emhoff.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that people have to be careful about opening up Pandora's box.
Yeah,
they've accused Trump of stuff. They've accused JD Vance of stuff. They've take the gamut on any, and all of a sudden, when people start to dig a little deeper, now the skeletons come out of the closet.
So I could never run for office. Are they saying?
There's no, probably not. Did you watch? Did you guys see the movie Hillbilly Elegy?
No.
I set my mom up to watch it on YouTube.
What's it on?
I didn't.
It's on YouTube?
You guys should. I saw it on Netflix. That's the movie about the story of JD Vance.
Right.
Oh, I'll watch that.
You should watch it. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
It's
really interesting.
Hillbillyology?
No.
Hillbilly Elegy. ELIGY.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And Vance is the guy from Minnesota, right?
Oh man.
Or no, Walz is the guy
Vance
from Minnesota.
God.
No, Walz is the
you know what? You almost are like the perfect political host.
Right.
I'm just asking. Walz
and that there's no nonsense like I'm gonna check make believe fact check you. You're trying to figure out your own fact checking for yourself.
You're like that.
Perfect.
You're like that. Am I gay? Am I straight? Am I gay?
No, it was Walz, right?
This is from Minnesota.
Yes, he's the bad guy that let everything burn.
Yeah, but
okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
JD Vance is from Ohio.
Yeah, JD Vance is a good guy. Okay.
Oh, he is.
I thought he was.
I don't know. It's up
to you. He's better of the two.
You're the political expert.
Yeah. Well, he's better than Walz.
Yeah. I guess so. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I hate everyone. I really do. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. There is no. Nothing is truthful anymore. I am
Well,
in the Matrix.
we don't know what the
I'm
issues
Neo.
are.
I'm a fat Neo. I'm in the Matrix. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we just don't know the issues.
I know the issues. I don't know the facts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know her.
There's no more facts. Every time you turn your head, there's somebody debunking somebody else. There's somebody spewing lies. There's somebody that's trying to say the truth that gets killed. Everything is skewed, man. Where am I?
So you're saying if the Israel-Hamas thing was not, Shapiro would have beaten Trump?
I think so.
Okay.
Would
there have been a different vice president?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Kamala Harris would have been out of the picture if there was no Israeli-Arab conflict.
She has done nothing.
She would have gone into that
in the 3.5 years.
Gone into that late good night.
Okay.
With Joe Biden. They would have packaged her up as the deal. Get her and him out of here.
And she's relatively young for her political
Yeah, she is
career
young.
to end.
59 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, 59? I think she's 59.
Is she 59?
I think so.
So that's a long time for your political career to end. I mean, could she have gone and done
political
something
career
else?
doesn't have to end. She's just from vice president. She can go back to senator.
Oh,
She can go back to rep. She can she can go into law. She could be a part of a judicial. So yeah, she's not over.
Oh, well, I mean, it's a big step down.
Yeah, you're done.
She looks pretty good for 59.
You're at the pinnacle.
Yeah, I thought is she 59? Did you happen to look that?
Yeah,
up?
you're right. Yeah, she looks pretty good.
Yeah,
She looks good.
So, yeah, absolutely.
You're at the pinnacle of your career at 59 years old. So let me ask you this. She runs this race and she loses.
Yeah.
What's her next move, in your opinion?
Nothing. Retirement for a while.
She'll
go on the political talk show circuit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she's gonna make so much money.
Yeah, just from writing
Kamala,
books and
oh
talking
my
online.
God. Like,
because she's
endless money.
I got you. Okay, I was just curious because I mean, you're 60 years old. You're going to be at the pinnacle. You're running for president.
Yeah.
You didn't win a single primary. It's not someone you could see coming back in 4 years and trying to run again because they never wanted her.
No,
in
they
the
don't want her
first
in the
place.
first place. They don't want her in the first place.
So they would never take her back again.
No.
Okay.
No.
And there's no way that Trump can run again.
No.
He's
If
just
he
going to
wins,
be a
no.
go-between.
Either way, no. He could run again.
If
he loses this one,
oh,
he could run the
if
next
he
one.
loses this one, he could run again.
Right.
If he wins this one,
I don't see that happening because he'll be 82, almost 83. No.
Yeah, the only time that happened, Grover Cleveland. See, I know that one.
Yeah.
Grover Cleveland won.
He was a pitcher.
And he took an in between and then came back.
Okay.
So I know that part.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes to what I know.
Yeah, nothing.
And
Well, I mean, our state senator's up on that, Joseph Griffo.
oh, Griffo's
He's
okay.
up for re-election.
He's a nice guy.
Yep. I forget the candidate he's running against. So just because I'm going to vote for Joe Griffo because I've known Joe for
Yeah, he's a good guy.
35 years, and he's an upstanding citizen.
And he let you go to Woodstock.
He did give me a little hand in getting into Woodstock, but not even because of that. I mean, he was here as a mayor of Rome, New York.
Yeah.
Came through the channels, is a state senator right now. Does well in representing our districts in our area right here, especially because that's where he originally came from. So he has my total support.
And the lady who ran against Brindisi, she won. Will she be running again or no?
Yes, she's a darling of Trump. Trump loves her.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but she's up for re-election.
I think so.
I think so.
It's only a 2-year gig. Yeah.
Dave, is there anyone by you in your local area that's running for election, re-election? Any tight races in your local government?
Any tight races?
Yeah, anything that you're concerned about?
Well, I'm always concerned, as obviously being a conservative. We're in a state where it's mostly blue, but I literally go in there, other than local elections, and I look for a letter, and it's called R, and I look for the R letter, and I go check, and then I submit it. Local elections, I know the candidates a little bit more. Could be different, although my city's pretty big. My city's like 70,000. So basically, in small towns, your kind of political party doesn't matter. Right. But in like, a town like up ours, which is 70,000, basically the Republicans going to be conservative, Democrats going to be, along the party lines kind of. So
we
can you
were talking about Claudia Tenney here in our area.
Oh yes, her. I didn't like her. Can
We
you
have
make,
our mayor that's up for election. He should win again. So he's conservative.
can you make a short? Remember on Friday, I had my mother come on, and
Oh yeah.
I showed you how she took my ballot and wasn't going to let me vote.
Yes, I gotta make it short of
And
that.
she smacked me across the face.
Yeah, that was great.
That was pretty funny, right?
Yeah, that was very funny.
While you had her on the air on the show here, did you debunk her at all?
No, I said, guys, this is my mother, and
Yeah.
she says that I can't vote because she doesn't like who I'm voting for.
You did not tear into your mother.
Well,
segment?
she left immediately.
Oh, once you
Right,
got into her, she took off. So
Yeah.
you had nothing you could do. I got you.
No,
Okay.
no, I just wanted to point it out, Dave. This is my mother, and she says that I can't vote because she doesn't like who I'm voting for.
Okay.
And then she slapped me and left. And
That's
Dave,
funny.
And Dave thought it was funny. That's
I
what
thought it was hilarious.
That'll be a great short. I'm telling you. There's not
Hey,
going to
listen.
be anything better than that.
The fact that you could survive living with your mother is amazing.
Well, I can't really survive, but we do the best. We do the best we can.
I got thrown out when I was 17. So
I wanted to ask,
Steve is the original guy in the.
yeah, the guy in the couch, the guy in the basement. I've been slept many places, air mattresses, couches, basements.
Yep.
I do it all. And
whatever you got to do.
I have a dog. Do you guys have a game this week?
Who me?
Your son's team.
Oh yeah, we have the playoffs this week.
Okay, so the playoffs start this week.
Yeah.
And then how long do they run if you win?
You win, you continue. But I think there's 3 rounds.
What's your prediction?
I don't predict anything in 9-year-old football.
You're not going to predict anything.
We're just gonna do our best. If it goes well, we'll win. If it doesn't, we'll go get ice cream.
Okay. Hey, either way, everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy. Okay. All right.
No, I mean we're very good, so we'll see. We'll see. It's actually though there's like I don't know. I want to say there's like 40 teams in the between the all the conferences, and only 8 teams made it. So it'll be good.
Good.
What was the thing I got screwed up again in education where the white people are racist innately?
Critical race theory.
Yeah.
Critical race theory. Okay.
They're teaching it. They want to teach in. I think they do teach in colleges.
Yeah.
They want to teach some high schools. I think
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
teach it, but there's a lot of backlash against it.
Yes.
But-
Okay. So it's not ignoring slavery or anything like that.
No,
Okay.
it's
That's what I thought.
expounding it.
I think it's
Okay.
the opposite of what you're saying. Yeah, I think it's more like, hey, basically, European peoples are to blame for all the issues that we currently have.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that's true.
Right.
Okay.
Like,
So-
I mean, there's a lot more to it, but
Yeah.
The crux of it
that's fun to
is-
get that. Yeah.
the crux of it is that what lack of a better word, white people bad type thing.
Yeah. That's kind of what
We're all colonizers. We're all
Yeah, we're racist. I get. I got.
no. It's more than that. It is, but it's like we're colonizers. Like our thought process in how we view the world is oppressive. I think that's a better way of putting it.
Impressive. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
I think that. Yes. So if I were to interact with a minority, I would have zero chance, according to critical race theory. I'd have zero chance of understanding what their plight is
Right.
because
right.
I'm inherently racist by my European
Descent.
ancestry, even though I'm 20%
You're
Asian.
Jewish. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm 20%
Oh, you're
Asian.
Asian? Oh,
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know
I'm Polynesian and
Really?
yes.
Hey, happy Indigenous Day.
Yes. So and I'm obviously my
Polynesian and
father's Jewish, so he's half. So I'm 50%. I'm 50%. What is it called? Ashkenazi. Even though I'm not my religion, I'm a born again Christian, but like
right.
the ethnicity, Ashkenazi Jewish, which is like European Jewish. I'm 20% Dutch, 20% Asian, My mother was born in
Wow.
Indonesia. So my mother's family was imperialists in Indonesia.
Yes.
Okay. And there was an intermixing because they were there for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. They
Wow.
were imperialists, which means they basically ran the country for the Dutch. My mother's Dutch. So they grew up in Indonesia. The Indonesians rebelled and they had to leave before they were killed. They moved to the Netherlands and then they came over to America. My father was over here from he was born and raised in New York City, and his mother came over here because his grandfather was in the Polish army and was oppressed, and they basically tortured him, and so he
or whatever.
No, he killed his commanding officer and escaped to America.
Wow,
so
that's a great story.
tough man.
Yep. Write a book about that. Jeez.
He was. My father knows a lot more, but supposedly he worked for the mafia as an enforcer when he came over in New York City. He was Jewish, but he was I guess he was a tough guy.
Like Ray Liotta and the Good.
He was an enforcer. He was an enforcer. That's my grandmother's father, and my father's my father's grandfather, and my father's father's father. So the other side was I don't know. I guess it was from Russia, and they just came over here.
Wow.
So yeah. So I'm a big mix. A big mix of different things, but yes. Yeah. So I'm actually a minority at the same time too. So
you are. I would never have guessed it. I would have never.
But Asians are no longer considered minorities in America. You know why, right?
No.
They've had a lot of success in America. As so it used to be that Asians used to be able to be were considered for like affirmative action. If you went to college, you had but that was put away because they were so successful.
Right?
So what you're saying is money makes everyone white. Huh?
No.
No. Money. Yes.
It makes them do well. The Asians worked hard and they did well,
and they're no longer considered a minority, or they no longer qualify for assistance.
Yeah, they don't white. They don't need.
Do not qualify.
Yeah,
right.
They don't need.
You know how I found out about it. My father was a track coach, and he had a Chinese American my father coached track. It still does for 60 years or whatever. He had a Chinese American that was a phenomenal jumper, like literally like a 22-foot long jumper in high school, and he was brilliant. And his parents owned the Chinese restaurant in town. They were hard workers. They did not have money. They literally he worked in it too. He got into Cornell, which is up near where you guys are.
Yeah, right here by us.
He to run track, and obviously he was a very good student, and got in there, and he was not able to qualify for affirmative action. It was the first time. This was like I want to say this was like right before I got to high school, late 80s. That was the first time my father had ever heard of anything, because they were like, apply, and they're like, no, your group does not qualify anymore, basically.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
You don't know the whole thing that happened in Harvard where the Asian students felt like
I knew that.
They weren't letting in Asian students anymore because they were doing so well, and they were like, I guess.
I knew that, yes.
I mean, that isn't that to me, isn't that racism? I don't know.
My friend coached at Harvard.
So, but anyway, yeah. Yep. So there's a little. That's
a Schuman history lesson.
Schuman history lesson.
When I coached at the high school, though, I had an Asian kid at tailback.
He was great,
really good. I had two of them actually. Well, three of them. There were three kids I've had in the course of time. Wasn't that?
I don't think
so. Yes, I did. I'll tell you exactly who they were afterwards.
It was David Hahn.
There's more than David Hahn. So I had this Asian kid at tailback, and he knows everybody's always breaking his balls. Missed the catch. Your eyes, open your eyes. They're always making the typical racial remarks to Asian, to Asians, right, on the football field, and they're all friends, and they're all laughing, they're all bullshitting. So he goes, After somebody broke his balls, he comes back to me in the huddle as we're ready to call the play. He goes, Coach Cristiano, you give me ball. I run left for you. I run right for you. I score touchdown. I thought, and the whole cracked up. After that point, it was all. There's nothing you could say that could ever.
Have you ever been to the Netherlands?
No, I haven't. So
okay.
Here's what's fun. Here's what's funny about my my mother's side of the family. That's so interesting because that's where the Asian side comes from. My grandfather, who's dead, if you saw him, okay, he looks like kind of like a Samoan guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
Polynesian, yeah.
Yes, he sweared until the day he died that he had zero Asian in him.
Oh, of course he did.
We're always like, what are you talking about? Like,
it was very easy to tell.
Because he was Dutch and he was in the Royal Dutch Navy, and it probably would have worked against him at the time, right?
If he was Polynesian.
If he had any Polynesian in him.
Yeah.
But we have the family chart, and there's like 3 people that are in the family. They have it going back to like the 1600s. And there's 3 people in there that are clearly the names. You would see the names. They're obviously Asian.
Yeah, so I was just gonna see if you want to go. Let me know because I want to go back to the red light.
He's in the Navy, and he's trying to hide his identity. But the guys are like, man, I don't know who this guy is, but he is whipping up some incredible poi in the kitchen. I mean, it is unreal. How does he know how to make this? No,
it's the red light.
How does he know how to make this stuff?
How does he know how to make this stuff? It's unbelievable.
If you ever want to go, I'll go with you because I want to go back to.
The Netherlands. I have all kinds of cousins that live over there.
All right, we got to go then.
And I haven't seen them since I was like, a kid that came over. They didn't speak one lick of English, and we just,
they speak English over there. Well, they speak Dutch.
No, they speak. Oh, I'm saying when they came. This is 30, 40 years ago. But Netherlands is supposedly a great time.
It is.
My brother's been over there. He hung out with my cousins. They're a lot of them live over there still. So.
Red light district.
Can I end this on a political question since we're a political show?
Yes.
I want to ask the host. I want to ask the political host here a question. Just your response. So yesterday, Barack Obama came out and made a public appearance and was lamenting the fact that young African Americans, especially men, are not going to vote for Kamala Harris in this election. He's basically pleading and begging for these African Americans to please vote Democratic Party. How can you not vote Democrat?
Yeah.
Because they've never, the Republican side, and especially Donald Trump, has never done anything for them.
Well, you said Trump was going to win the minority vote anyway.
I did, but what's your feeling on that?
Well, my feeling on that is Kamala Harris hasn't done anything for 3.5 years. What makes you think she's going to do something in 4 more?
Right. And isn't the feeling too with young African men, they are looking at her and actually looking into her record. And her record,
I hope they do.
Her record shows Her record shows the fact that she put away thousands and thousands of young black men for nothing.
Exactly.
Yes. She made her career off a dime bag.
Right.
Yeah.
So right there, that should obviously tell. Right now, if people don't know it, and this is the God's honest truth, there is a panic fear in the Democratic inside conference rooms.
There should be. Because they're going to lose.
The war rooms that they have right now, they are panicking because they realize the polls are slowly rolling the other way.
Not slowly, but
they're slowly rolling.
They're
slowly, piece by piece. Yep.
What I talked about a month ago when I said I think he'll get at least 25% of the African vote.
I think you said 28.
And probably more of the Hispanic vote.
Yes.
This time around, it's no joke.
I agree.
Words and rhetoric
and values
may be one thing,
values,
but we've seen a 4-year track record of who's running.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote.
And we have not seen a 4-year track record of who is running as well on the other side. So people are going to feel more comfortable because they feel they're going to be better taken care of financially, better represented economically in this country with a change in leadership.
Because you can't pay your bills and joy.
You cannot But bottom line, even the most diehard ones, they are done. They're sunk on their side.
Yeah.
They're going to go down with the ship either way.
Yeah,
But those people that sort of have their mental faculties there, okay, and realize that there is not a threat to democracy. If any kind of threat to democracy just happened, it's within the Democratic Party by them propping up Kamala Harris as their natural
this is
successor
who we're going with.
without any kind of validity from the voters.
Just decide.
Frank, I have a question. What do you think it is that? What do you think is the issue that will turn those voters to Trump?
I think I really think I know that the female aspect is intriguing to many. I know that the union backer is intriguing to many, that she backs middle class and she backs workers.
Her values haven't changed.
And right, but the problem is what's going to change the voters' minds when they go to sink the ballot into the machine, however you want to call it, is the fact that almost everything she has stated,
she's flip-flopped
before and now, is a total 180.
Yeah.
And you can't trust anyone like that.
Yeah.
You can't. I'm sorry. You can't. You know what that's like? That's like living with an abuser, with a serial abuser. So if you're a woman or today apologized and said, you know what? I love you even more now. Bottom line, you're living in an abusive cycle of the same thing happening over and over.
Yeah.
The truth will come out, right? The truth will come out. You have to follow the truth. You have to are her values and what she has stayed upon for X amount of years. Now you're telling me in 6 months, or she's flipped around.
She shouldn't be able to change.
She's seen the middle class is struggling. She's seen frackers, are going to lose their jobs. She's going to back them. We're not going to go totally energy efficient in this country. We're going to pull back. And yes, we need oil. We need drilling. Right. We need this. We need this. We need this. All of a sudden, the border. She's a border supporter.
Yeah, she's criminalizing.
For 3 years, and all of a sudden, some law at the last second that ties in billions and billions of dollars of aid for Ukraine and other third world countries, along with maybe $5 billion for that. You're not protecting the border, but they're giving hundreds of billions of dollars away to other countries and entities. That's the bullshit that people don't look at,
and we don't get.
Read the facts. Yeah. Read through it, and you know why.
And your taxes get raised.
No, but you know why it's hard to do that. It takes time to read the facts, and we don't have time. We're working 60 hours a week to pay bills.
Oh,
you understand that? We don't have time to break all these down. So it's easier to go on your phone and get a 10-second short from somebody saying, "Oh, Kamala good, Trump bad, economy," or that's where I think a good chunk of the voters are going to actually say, you know what, I'm weighing it out. I know what I'm going to get with Trump. Maybe I'll get even a little better, but I don't think I can get much worse, because there's not going to be, there'll be some deportations without a doubt. You're going to see illegals who have no documentation, who have come in here, maybe have a criminal record.
The Venezuelan gangs.
They're going to be gone.
Right.
And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
No.
Okay. You're not going to see political opponents assassinated. You're not going to see entire groups wiped out. You're not going to see, you will see inflation go down.
Well, Trump,
you will see inflation go down.
Again.
You will see, you will see inflation go down. You will see economies thrive. Okay. Because they know they have somebody that's a pro economy in office. They don't have somebody that's saying, hey man, you know what? You're building your business up and it's becoming more and more successful. You got to pay more.
Yes.
And you got to keep paying more. And you got to keep even paying more.
Yes.
After a while, how much is enough? How much is enough?
It's never enough. They just keep going in your pocket.
Why do the billionaires have to pay more? Pay their fair share. Pay what the tax code says to pay. You want to change the tax code for them? Change it for everybody across the board.
Right.
Why do they have to? Why? Because you know why? Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Even like employees, I've had companies, I've had businesses and all that, and they're like, they want to make decisions. They want to do it. Well, you know what? Until it's your name on the store, you're not going to make any decisions.
Right.
I take all the risk, 100% of the risk. I've invested my money, my sweat and tears, my knowledge, my time, my effort, everything into that. But I'm going to let other people tell me what I got to do with it. So they're totally incorrect on that end. They want them to pay fair share. Raise it. raise the rate, but raise the rate on everybody else.
But I think you take a suggestion from someone if they offered you a suggestion.
A suggestion on what?
And if an employee offered you a suggestion and said,
Absolutely.
"Frank, maybe I think
listen,
your wings are priced too high."
I listen to everyone, but bottom line, I make the decisions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
the decision is for everybody across the board
Right.
in my store. So the decision has to be for everybody across the country.
Well,
I don't feel. Listen, I don't feel if you're making $60,000 or less, I don't think you should pay any taxes.
Right.
I don't think you should pay any taxes.
Because you can't live off it.
You can't
live off
at
it.
this point in time. I don't think you should pay.
Yeah.
I think all the levels of taxation need to rise as far as when taxation starts.
Correct.
Okay, because we have a ton of people that are living in poverty. They're living below the poverty line.
Majority, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
a lot of people are.
So when raise the levels, you want to do that. You want to tax the companies a little bit more. That's fine. But those high enders too, or those middle enders, they're going to feel it as well. Somebody's got to pay for it. And in the other balance, Dave, but when you're taxing more, hey, how about cutting down some of these fucking programs?
Yeah.
How about trimming all the fat in the government budget?
Good luck with that.
If you went through, but if you went through the government budget and you broke it down item line by item line, and you saw money going to the third world countries and to programs in this country.
They have to show that they're working.
Save the spotted owl. And
they have to show they're working.
We need to test the sperm whales to see what the count is. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's true.
They have to show they're working. That's why they create the program.
You want to work. How about the infrastructure thing? I think is a great idea on that. Do it the right. Repave everything.
Yeah.
Rebuild everything. Yeah. Resync money into communities. Get some more affordable living space.
We need it.
Right.
Affordable housing.
Cheap living space. Yeah. Cheap. People need to pay $500 a month for
well, that's not going to.
They need, but that's what they need. That's what they need. Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know what in New York State? You know what they get now for government assistance as far as for the road? Unless you're totally derelict and out, you get about $400 a month.
Yeah.
You get $400 a month to put towards an average $1,100 apartment.
Which does nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
That means you got to pay $700 a month, right? Yeah. So that ends up being almost $200 a week. Some of these guys are only pulling in $500-600 a week working.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with $600 a week? You can't make a balance because inflation, everything costs too much. Yeah. The stuff has to come down. The only way to come down is to control internal spending, to control internal programs, right? Maybe collect a little bit more in taxes. That's fine. Collect more in tariffs. I think that I still think, see, the tariff thing is another one that bothers me and drives me nuts about how people think it's going to hurt the United States. It will not.
No.
It will not hurt the United States. Initially, you'll see some differentials and some things go up and down, but what it's going to and maybe it might even cost a little bit more to buy that, but it may be a better product you're buying as well because everything
you're buying
from the outside imported in is made by a third world producer.
You're buying American.
So and we'd be promoting more jobs inside this country. I don't understand the logic and the theory. I don't understand. See, I'm a nationalist. I know you know this, Dave. I'm a nationalist.
Yes.
And I'm more about internal first. If I can't take care of my own. Because we have an automatic printing press.
Yeah.
That's why.
Just print more money.
But after a dry, your money to buy ink.
Right.
So we have to figure this animal out. But if we don't take a stand at some point, it's going to get out of control. You know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to come in. Some president, maybe this is what Trump will do. He'll come in. I'm just going to wipe out the entire national debt. Forget it. We don't owe anybody anything. We don't owe ourselves anything.
Just erase it.
Right. And then $1 will be worth 2 cents.
Yes.
Right.
Like it used to be in the 1800s.
Right. So, I mean, how do you go about it? Yeah. We need some common sense in there. We're not getting it from either side. All they're doing is fighting and attacking each other. All they're doing is putting up all causes.
Personal.
They have so many causes in there nobody gives a shit about.
Nobody
cares about
it. No, they don't.
They don't. The initial care should be this. It's not a societal care. It's not a foreign care. It should be a nationalistic. How do we pay our bills? How do we eat? And how do we survive? That's it.
And I think that's what this election will come down to. So for another spirited discussion on Rebel Republic, I apologize again for Mr. McEntee not being with us. The voice of reason.
Absolutely. Every time I'm spewing, I spew nothing but
who is very emotional right now. He's very fired up. He's very
always emotional. I'm sick of it. You know what? I love this country.
And I don't want a female president.
That's ridiculous. That's a stupid statement.
That is ridiculous.
Women can't be president.
That's a stupid statement.
Nope. No, they can't do it. They're too emotional. And for the coach.
Just because your mom bitch slaps you aside of the head every so often, I don't think all females are like that.
And for the coach, David Schuman, This has been Rebel Republic. I remember the name.
Christ. Here it comes, Dave. Here it comes. Wait.
97.9 Unity Radio.
Listen for it. Listen for it.
Dave, remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them back at Kamala Harris.